Good morning, boys and girls. This is Mr. Doug's Storytime. Yay! And today we are reading our most epic favorite book of all times. That's a big hint for our classroom friends, at least. And it is written by someone whose name starts with Doctor and last name rhymes with Moose. Okay, you guessed it. Dr. Seuss. Of course. It's not Green Eggs and Ham, which is another one of our favorites, and it's not The Cat in the Hat, so it must be The Lorax. Yay, and it says right here, by Dr. Seuss. So we're going to read this. Just a couple weeks ago, it was Earth Day, and this is a great book to read on Earth Day. We didn't get a chance to do it that day, but we're going to do it now, and it's a great book to read anytime because the message of this book is so important. And this week we're also talking about recycling and how to take care of our planet. The Lorax by Dr. Seuss is a story about how not to take care of our planet, how not to take care of our earth or our environment. The Onceler does not take good care of his environment, and this is how we learn how to take care of it. Okay? So, The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. At the far end of town, where the grickle grass grows, and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows, and no birds ever sing excepting old crows, is the street of the lifted Lorax. And deep in the grickle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see today where the Lorax once stood, just as long as it could, before somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was the Lorax? And why was it there? And why was it lifted and taken somewhere from the far end of town where the grickle grass grows? The old Onceler still lives there. Ask him. He knows. Now you won't see the Onceler. Don't knock at his door. He stays in his lurkum on top of his store. He lurks in his lurkum cold under the roof, where he makes his own clothes out of myth-muffered moof. And on special dank midnights in August he peeks out of the shutters, and sometimes he speaks and tells how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you, perhaps, if you're willing to pay. Look, you can see him peeking out of his lurk up there. He'll tell you, perhaps, about the Lorax if you're willing to pay. On the end of a rope, he lets down a tin pail, and you have to toss in 15 cents and a nail, and the shell of a great-great-great-grandfather snail. Wow, that's weird payment. Then he pulls up the pail, makes a most careful count, and to see if you've paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what you paid him away in his snub, his secret strange hole in his groovulous glove. Then he grunts, "I'll call you by whisper, my phone, for the secrets I tell you are for your ears alone." Slop, down slops the whisper-ma-phone to your ear, and the old Onceler whispers. They're not very clear, since they have to come down through a snurgly hose, and he sounds as if he had smallish bees up his nose. "Now I'll tell you," he says, with his teeth sounding gray, "how the Lorax got lifted and taken away. It all started way back, such a long, long time back. Way back in the days when the grass was still green and the pond was still wet and the clouds were still clean and the song of the swami swans rang out in space, one morning I came to this glorious place and I first saw the trees. The truffula trees, the bright colored tufts of the truffula trees, mile after mile in the fresh morning breeze. Wow, he was excited about all those truffula trees. Look how beautiful it was. And under the trees I saw brown barbaloots frisking about in their barbaloot suits as they played in the shade and ate truffula fruits. From the ripulous pond came the comfortable sound of humming fish humming while swimming around. Ooh, does that look great? I would love to go to that place. Beautiful. But those trees, those truffula trees, all my life I've been searching for trees such as these. The touch of their tufts was much softer than silk, and they had the sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. Well, I felt a great leap of joy in my heart. I knew just what I'd do. I loaded my cart. And in no time at all, I had built a small shop. Then I chopped down a truffula tree with one chop. And with great skillful skill and with great speedy speed, I took the soft tuft and I knitted a thneed. There's the thneed. There's the tree he cut down. Well, the instant I finished, I heard a gazump. I looked. I saw something pop out of the stump of the tree I chopped down. Well, it was sort of a man. Describe him? I don't know if I can. Okay, he was shortish and oldish and brownish and mossy, and he spoke with a voice that was sharpish and bossy. Mister, he said with a sawdusty sneeze, I am the Lorax, I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees have no tongues, and I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs. He was very upset as he shouted and puffed. What's that thing you've knitted out of my truffula tuft? Look, Lorax, I said, there's no cause for alarm. I chopped just one tree. I'm doing no harm. In fact, I'm being quite useful. This thing is a thneed. A thneed to find something that all people need. It's a shirt, it's a sock, it's a glove, it's a hat, but it has other uses. Yes, far beyond that. You can use it for carpets, for pillows, for sheets, or curtains, or covers on bicycle seats. Well, the Lorax said, Sir, you are crazy with greed. There is no one on earth that would buy that fool thneed. Wow. But the very next minute I proved he was wrong. For just at that minute a chap came along, and he thought that the thneed I had knitted was great. And he happily bought it for $3.98. I laughed at the Lorax. You poor stupid guy. You never can tell what some people will buy. Before we go any farther, we do not say the word stupid in our classroom. It is not a nice word. But we did read it in here. We read it in the story so we could learn about the Lorax. Okay? So, do not say that word. That's not a nice word. But the oncer did call the Lorax that. Not very nice. I repeat, cried the Lorax, I speak for the trees. I'm busy, I told him. Shut up, if you please. Oh, no, we don't say that either. You never say that. That is so rude. But now we know how rude the Lorax really is, right? All right. We're going to keep reading, okay? Well, I rushed across the room, and in no time at all, I built a radio phone, and I put in a quick call. I called all my brothers and uncles and aunts, and I said, listen here. Here's a wonderful chance for the whole Oncer family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast. Take the road to North Nitch. Turn left at Weehawken, sharp right at South Stitch. Look, there's the whispermophone. Is that what he calls it? Yeah, that's weird. Oh, he built a radio phone. Well, that's not kind of the phones we have today, is it? Put in a quick call to his whole family and told them how to get here. And in no time at all, in the factory I built, the whole Oncer family was working full tilt. We were all knitting needs, just as busy as bees, to the sound of the chopping of truffula trees. Uh-oh. Huh. Right up there. Chopping down more truffulas. Look at all the stumps. Oh, right here too. Look at all Oncer's family. Wow. That's a much bigger building too, isn't it? Then, oh baby, oh, how my business did grow. Now chopping one tree at a time was too slow. So I quickly invented my super axe hacker, which whacked off 4 truffula trees with one smacker. We were making needs 4 times as fast as before. Oh, and that Lorax? He didn't show up anymore. Wow. The super axe hacker. But the next week he knocked on my new office door. He snapped, I am the Lorax, I speak for the trees, which you seem to be chopping as fast as you please. But I'm also in charge of the brown barbaloots, who played in the shade in their barbaloot suits and happily lived eating truffula fruits. They don't look happy there, do they? Now, thanks to your hacking my trees to the ground, there's not enough truffula fruit to go round. And my poor barbaloots are all getting the crummies because they have gas and no food in their tummies. Oh, they just don't look very good, do they? They loved living here, but I can't let them stay. They'll have to find food, and I hope that they may. Good luck, boys, he cried, and he sent them away. Well, I, the Oncer, felt sad as I watched them all go. But business is business, and business must grow, regardless of crummies and tummies, you know. So the Oncer sent all the brown barbaloots away. They all had to leave their home. How sad is that? Wow, that building just keeps getting bigger. Did anybody notice how dark the sky is getting? Look at all that smoke. Yuck. Huh. Well, I meant no harm. I most truly did not, but I had to grow bigger. So bigger I got. I biggered my factory, I biggered my rows, I biggered my wagons, I biggered the loads of the needs I shipped out. I was shipping them forth to the south, to the east, to the west, to the north. I went right on biggering, selling more needs, and I biggered my money, which everyone needs. Wow. Not very many trees around. Look at all the stumps. Then again he came back. I was fixing some pipes when that old nuisance when that old nuisance Lorax came back with more gripes. I am the Lorax. He coughed and he whiffed. He sneezed and he snuffled. He snuggled. He sniffed. Onceler! He cried with a crufulous croak. Onceler, you're making such smogulous smoke. My poor swami swans, why they can't sing a note. No one can sing who has smog in their throat. Ooh, look at that. How would you like to be a bird flying around in that? Those poor swami swans. And their beautiful voices, we don't even hear them. They can't sing anymore. And so, said the Lorax, please pardon my cough. They cannot live here. So I'm sending them off. Where will they go? I don't hopefully know. They may have to fly for a month or a year to escape from the smog you smoggered up here. Look at how sad they are. All leaving. Look at, ugh, yuck, ugh. All that smog. Look how dark the sky is. Wow, the Lorax was pretty sad. But watch out. What's more, snapped the Lorax. His dander was up. Let me say a few words about gluppity-glup. Your machinery chugs on day and night without stop, making gluppity-glup and sloppity-slop. And what do you do with this leftover goo? I'll show you, you dirty old onceler man, you. So this is the gloopity-glop and the sloppity-slop. It looks like it's being put somewhere. Huh. What do you do with all that gloopity-glue and sloppity-slop? Oh no, look where it's coming out. Oh no. You're glumping the ponds where the humming fish hummed. No more can they hum, for their gills are all gummed. So I'm sending them off. Oh, their future is dreary. They'll walk on their fins and get woefully weary in search of some water that isn't so smeary. Remember how beautiful that water was when we first saw it? And then I got mad. I got terribly mad, and I yelled at the Lorax, now listen here, Dad. All you do is yap, yap, and say bad, 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 bad. Well, I have my rights, sir, and I'm telling you, I intend to go on doing just what I do. And for your information, you Lorax, I'm biggering, and biggering, and biggering, and biggering, turning more truffula trees into thieves which everyone needs. Wow, the onceler was mad. And at that very moment, we heard a loud whack. From outside in the fields came a sickening smack of an axe on a tree. Then we heard the tree fall. The very last truffula tree of them all. Look at all these tree stumps. All of those trees have been chopped down. All of them are chopped down. And the last one was just chopped. Well, no more trees, no more needs, no more work to be done. So in no time, my uncles and aunts and everyone all waved me goodbye. They jumped into my cars and they drove away under the smoke-smuggered stars. You can't even see the stars. All that smoke and smog. Now all that was left beneath the bad-smelling sky was my big empty factory, the Lorax, and I. Huh. So the factory had to shut down, right? Because there was no more truffula trees to make the thneeds, and so everybody left. And look what they left. Ugh. Here, there's the Onceler. He's watching everyone leave. Now all that was left beneath the bad-smelling sky was my big empty factory, the Lorax and I. But the Lorax said nothing, just gave me a glance, just gave me a very sad, backward glance, as he lifted himself by the seat of his pants. And I'll never forget the grim look on his face when he hoisted himself and took leave of this place through a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. The Lorax had to leave even. It was so bad there. Wow, how sad. And all that the Lorax left here in this mess was a small pile of rocks with one word, unless, says that right there, unless. Whatever that meant, well, I just couldn't guess. Well, that was long, long ago. But each day, since that day, I've sat here and worried away. Through the years, while my buildings have fallen apart, I've worried about it with all of my heart. Look, even the sign, Thneeds, is broken down. But now, says the Onceler, now that you're here, that's him, he's talking to him, the word of the Lorax seems perfectly clear. Unless, there's the word, someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing's going to get better. It's not. So, catch, calls the Onceler. He lets something fall. It's a truffula seed. It's the last one of all. You're in charge of the last of the truffula seeds. And truffula trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new truffula, treat it with care. Give it clean water and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest and protect it from the axes that hack. Then the Lorax and all of his friends may come back. Look, you can see the Onceler just threw down the last truffula seed of all to the boy that's standing there. So, and he gave the boy instruction. I'm going to read that part again. It's a truffula seed. It's the last one of all. You're in charge of the last of the truffula seeds, and truffula trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new truffula and treat it with care. Give it clean water and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest and protect it from axes that hack. Then the Lorax and all of his friends may come back. Wow, what a story. It's really kind of a sad story. The Onceler and all of the people that the Onceler was around, they all did really bad things to the environment. And then, when there were no more chocolate trees, they just left. They left all the bad things there. The smog and the gloppity glop sloppity slop. Wow. But the good thing about this story is that at the very end, we still have hope because we know we can do something. The Onceler says, basically, if you take care of your planet, if you take care of your environment, then maybe good things will happen again. So that's why we take care of our planet. That's why we recycle, and that's why we reuse things, and we reduce all the things that we use. We don't use as much of it, because when there's less garbage in the world is a better place. So, that is the story of the Lorax by Dr. Seuss. And I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope, like every time we read it, you got the lesson. You understand that we have to take care of our planet. Thank you, and have a very good day.